So let's tackle a really fascinating question in the crypto world. How can a massive asset like XRP, famous for being super fast for payments, actually earn a return for people who hold it? All right, let's get into it.
And right away, we hit the central puzzle, right? See, unlike a lot of other big cryptocurrencies, you can't just stake XRP to help secure the network and get rewards. So if that easy, native way to earn yield is off the table, where in the world does the return come from? Well, the answer means we have to start thinking about the asset in a totally different way.
Okay, so this is the crucial difference. On one side, you've got your proof-of-stake coins. Yield from staking is just baked right into their DNA. It's a pretty passive way to earn. But on the other side, you have XRP. Since it doesn't have that built-in mechanism, any yield you're going to get has to be actively generated by putting it to work. It's about turning it from just a way to send money into productive, working capital.
So, how exactly do you put XRP to work in a decentralized way? The answer, and really the key that unlocks this whole thing, is a technology called Flare. I want you to think of it as the bridge that connects XRP from its own world over to a whole new universe of financial opportunity.
So what is Flare, really? At its heart, it's a blockchain specifically built to be a hub for decentralized finance, DeFi. And its main job, for our purposes today, is to take an asset like XRP and make it DeFi ready. Basically, it teaches it how to speak the language of DeFi so it can plug into all sorts of applications, lending, trading, the whole shebang.
I love this analogy of a passport. It's perfect. Imagine XRP is a citizen of its own super efficient country. Flare is what gives it the passport, and suddenly it can travel to this bustling, opportunity-rich land of DeFi, take part in the economy there, earn some income, and it gets to do all of that without ever giving up its original identity. And this shows you how that journey works in 3 pretty simple steps. First, you lock up your original XRP. Then you mint a perfect one-to-one copy of it on the Flare network. This is called an FAsset, or in this case, FXRP. And finally, you take that new, super-powered FXRP and you put it to work in all those different DeFi protocols to start earning that yield. So now that we know how XRP gets across that bridge into DeFi, let's talk about what it can actually do once it's there. We're going to break down 3 main strategies for generating yield, and each one is a little bit different.
All right, our first path is through a classic tool from finance. Options. Now, believe it or not, XRP already has one of the biggest options markets in all of crypto, but most of that action has been happening behind the closed doors of centralized exchanges. Bringing this stuff on-chain with Flare makes it transparent and opens it up for everybody.
So how does this work? It's actually more straightforward than it sounds. You're selling contracts that give someone else the option, but not the requirement, to buy or sell your XRP at a set price down the road. For selling them that right, you get paid a fee right up front. That's called a premium. And that premium you just collected, that's your yield. Simple as that.
Now, of course, it's not a free lunch. There's a trade-off. If the market goes wild and gets really volatile, the person who bought your option might decide to use it. And that could mean you have to sell your XRP at a price that's, not as good as the current market price. The key thing here is that it's a manageable risk, part of the strategy.
Okay, let's move on to strategy number 2. This one is really clever, especially for anyone who wants to earn yield without having to guess which way the market is headed. These are called delta-neutral strategies.
Here's the core idea, and it's kind of brilliant. You use your XRP as collateral to borrow something stable, like a stablecoin pegged to the US dollar. Then you take that borrowed cash and you put it into a totally separate trade that's designed to earn a return. As long as the money you make from that second trade is more than the interest you're paying on the loan, you've just made a profit on your original XRP.
A classic example is the basis trade, and this table shows it perfectly. So a trader might buy XRP on the regular spot market, but at the exact same time, they'll short an XRP perpetual contract. These two moves basically cancel each other out, so you're not exposed to whether the price goes up or down. Your profit comes from collecting something called the funding rate, which is just a small, regular fee that traders pay each other to keep things balanced. It's a steady, market-neutral way to earn income.
And that brings us to our third strategy. This one is maybe the most innovative of them all because it's totally unique to this new on-chain ecosystem: insurance underwriting. This is all about earning fees by helping provide economic security to the network itself.
This is all powered by a new system called the Firelight Protocol. Let me give you the simple version. Other apps and services on the blockchain can basically rent security from the network, and they pay a fee for it. Your staked XRP is what provides that security layer. And for playing that role, for being an underwriter, you get a piece of those fees. This creates a completely new way to earn yield that isn't tied to what the market is doing, but to the actual real economic activity happening on the network. Pretty cool, huh?
So, we've walked through 3 really different strategies, but this brings up a huge question. What's the big picture advantage here? I mean, why go through all this trouble to do it on a decentralized network like Flare, instead of just using a normal, centralized exchange?
And this slide lays it out perfectly. The old way is often a black box. You have to trust the company with your assets, and you really don't know what's going on behind the curtain. The new on-chain way is totally transparent. It's secured by code, and best of all, it's composable. That means all these different apps can plug into each other, like financial Legos, creating even more and more opportunities.
So when you add it all up, this on-chain approach gives you a whole menu of transparent yield options. There's something for every risk level. It builds this single, unified foundation where all these strategies can exist and grow, turning XRP into a real engine that powers economic activity across the entire DeFi world.
Which leads us to this final, really powerful question. For years, we've all known XRP as this lightning-fast tool for payments. But by unlocking all these new on-chain ways to earn yield, are you watching it evolve right before our eyes? Is it changing from just a payment tool into a truly productive form of capital? Now that is something to think about. Thanks for joining me.